Hello, my friends. It is a beautiful rainy day today. I know that might sound very odd to most of you, but here in Phoenix, Arizona, it is very dry and does not rain very often. And so those days that we get cloudy, rainy days are so special and wonderful to me and many of my fellow Phoenicians. So it's a perfect day to be inside and just do some coloring. And I have my hot peppermint tea here, and we're ready. We're going to do it. So I thought that I would step out of my comfort zone, and we are going to use all Polychromos today on this picture. So before we get started, I actually also want to talk to you about this paper a little bit. So when I first started coloring, I played around with lots of different papers, and it eventually came upon you guys probably remember that I like the, I can't think of it right now at the moment. The Recollections cardstock, because it was a nice, smooth, heavy cardstock that I really, really liked. And then I discovered, I discovered some papers that were too toothy. The toned tan was too toothy. Some other papers that I tried were way too toothy, and I couldn't get that smooth look that I really liked. And then I discovered the Nina Desert Storm tan cardstock, and I fell in love with it. And you've seen me do quite a few pictures with it. But one of the things that I always got a little, not frustrated, because it's always there's a give and take. There's pros and cons of everything that we use. And the con for me of the tan cardstock was that sometimes I just wanted a bright white, paper to work on, so that when I did my backgrounds, whether I was using the gelatos, which are kind of sheer, or, I don't know, whatever background I chose, sometimes I just wanted white. And I'm going about this in a very long way. But to make a long story short, I happened to pull out this cardstock that I had tried when I first started coloring and didn't like it for whatever reason. And I'm coming to discover that I love it now. It has more tooth to it than the Recollections cardstock that I have been using. And so it is letting me do more layers. And the white pencil is showing up on top of darker colors better than it did on that smoother cardstock. So today I am going to be working on this Spring Hill digital 90-pound white cardstock. And if I continue to love it, I'll continue to use it. But yeah, I'm really liking it. So, we evolve, we change, our techniques change and evolve, and our tastes change and evolve. So there you go. Alrighty. Now that that's all done, let's talk about the polys. I got my polys several months ago, and basically up until recently, I have been using them only as a supporting pencil to my Prismacolors, which I love. And you've also probably noticed on a lot of pages, I use my Prismacolors for the skin, and then I might use the polys for the hair, or whatever. I have not done skin tones with the Polychromos, except for one time, which I wanted to see if I could do it. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do this whole page in polys. We're going to step away from the Prismas for a little while. So I'm crossing my fingers because gosh darn, you know, I haven't done this a lot, so hopefully it will turn out okay. And that is that. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with Beige Red, number 132. I think they might have changed the name to Light Flesh, or it used to be called Light Flesh, and now it's Beige Red. I've gotten both things showing up online, and I don't know which one is newer, but it's number 132. So normally I do the darker colors first, but I'm going to lay down a layer of this first. Now I do still, on that tan paper, I do still really like how I can lay my highlights down first so I don't accidentally, oh gosh, I didn't even talk about the page. So the page is from Mystic Art Mirrors Into the Wild. You guys have probably, or hopefully you saw the flip through that I did of it. And I also talked about how I went through with my computer and I thinned out the lines. So I'll just throw this on here. You can see the difference in the thick lines as they are printed from the page, and what I did when I went through and I erased basically the thickness of the lines. So either way, it's going to be darling, whether you use the thick lines or you do what I do. But yes, so that is the page that we're working on. So there you go. So these, I really like the way these Polychromos are behaving on this paper. So that's a good thing. It's interesting because you get in a habit, or at least I do, get in a habit when I use certain pencils. And you start doing things just by memory, sort of, I guess. So this will be interesting because the technique's a little bit different. And it's actually kind of a new paper for me, even though it's an old paper. I still haven't done a whole lot of pages on it. But I really like what I've seen so far. So we're still going to leave the areas. We're still going to leave the areas white that we want to be left in highlight. And I'm not sure how well you can see this. It's pretty light. I can barely see it when I'm looking in my camera, but maybe it's different when it's actually recorded. So, and it's cloudy out, so it's probably not as bright in this room as it usually is either. So the reason that I am laying down the peach first is because I want to make sure that I have a little bit of a cushion, I guess, between the darker colors and the paper so that they don't cling too much to the toothiness of the paper. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's my logic anyway. Because it's kind of a new pencil for me for doing skin, and a new techniques involved. I don't want to lay down my dark and then find that I can't blend it the way I would like to blend it. So this way, hopefully when we go to add the darker colors, they'll move and blend the way I want them to when that time comes. So sometimes there's a method to my madness. And also working with pretty much straight line art is kind of new for me, as I tend to like to do grayscale. But I am going to say that I feel like doing the grayscale has gotten me in the habit and has taught me where, for the most part, highlights and shadows should go. So hopefully that will be the case. Okay, so that was Beige Red. I'm gonna go to Cinnamon, which is 189, and start contouring a little bit. I think I'm going to try and build the colors from light to dark. I'm using a really light pressure, which is easy to do with the polys because they take a pretty firm pressure in order to get a heavy laydown of color, which we don't need. So probably don't need it under here because I'm going to do some darker colors, but I'll do it anyway. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, let's keep going down the neck. You know, I'm thinking that this is probably, I wonder if we should do this, if we should do all this as skin, or if we should do it as a shirt. And I'm also looking here thinking that's probably shoulder, which I missed. So I'm going to go back with the Beige Red. Sometimes I don't see until later on what I'm supposed to be coloring here. Okay, so that's her shoulder, which I missed with my dark line, but you know what? That's a leaf, so that's okay. Sometimes I'll notice that too, where I'll see some dark lists that I wish I would have erased earlier. All right, I'm going to call this skin. And I'm going to call this skin. Now, we could do that with color, like her shirt, because it's quite low if we don't. What do I want to do? You know what? I think I'm going to just do it as skin. I made an executive decision. Let's see, that is part of the bead. Did I erase that? It looks like it's missing a bit right there. Okay. Okay, so this is just still the beige red or the light flesh. That's a pretty low cut. Well, I don't know what to do. Yeah, we'll just do skin. Okay. She's a bold gal. Okay. Back to the cinnamon. Just had to look up and check and see if I had any ears that I didn't get colored, but no, not this time. Let's not forget, I do have, just fixing my own little, don't forget the skin in here, which I think we can do with the cinnamon because it would kind of be slight in shadow anyway, so that's fine. Okay, I haven't done anything on the nose. How did I miss that? All right, I guess I will go ahead and start darkening the area here. We've got a lot more darker colors to go, so. I'm hoping I don't use up all the tooth. I get in the habit of that tan cardstock that has such a nice tooth on it, but like I said in the beginning, I'm pretty sure that this will take more layers than the Recollections paper, so. Okay, let's move on to another, what color do we have here? Coral, no, I don't want that. Okay, let's move on to Caput Mortem 169. And this is where we're gonna really start this is kind of like, for me, this is kind of like the equivalent of the chestnut if I was using Prismacolors. Now you definitely have to even go with even a lighter hand almost with these darker colors, it looks like, because your pencil strokes show much better than they do with those really light colors. So it helps me if I hold my pencil at quite an angle, and that helps keep that pressure from getting too strong. I'm going to add some dark right under her lip here. There's definitely a lack of confidence as I do this. So it's new, but gotta step outside of our comfort zone every now and then to grow and learn new things. So I thought, heck, why not do it in front of all my coloring friends? Why not? Okay. The nose is always the kind of one of the scariest parts for me. Because it can make or break a face. You can completely, at least I can, completely mess up a face by messing up the nose. Here we go. I'm definitely feeling like I'm having a hard time keeping the pressure light enough to not have any pencil strokes. But they might all blend out when I add all the other colors on top, so I won't stress too much yet. I think going with many light layers is going to work better for me than trying to achieve the look that I want right from the start. That's one of the things about Prismacolors. It seems to be that you can get that look faster. But I think with these, I need to do lots of light layers, which I guess we kind of all know about polys, but knowing it and being used to doing it are often two different things. I also think it would be shaded under this flower. Okay, let's see her hand down here. Made her finger look kind of weird right there. Okay. Let's see, we'll do a little bit. want to do. Let's try another color. Let's do Burnt Sienna. I feel like I might have to come back with some more of the light peach. I also want to get her cheeks in before I start adding too many other colors, so that I'm paranoid of not having enough layers. I don't know why. It's because it's new, I guess. I'm just rambling. Don't mind me. This is making me got just a little little spot that I missed. Okay, we down here. I think we'll add some yellow. I don't know if I want ivory or cream. Cream is definitely yellower. Let's do the cheeks. How about Burnt Carmine? Burnt Carmine. 193. Let's see, I want to sharpen this Rose Carmine. Rose Carmine. Really light. Maybe even some more. She definitely needs some more color in her face, in the center of her face. Okay. This is Pink Matter Lake. Okay, at least we got some color there. So I don't have to worry about not getting it on there later. Okay, I know I'm going to want some more of this beige red, but all right, so I have cream and ivory bowls. So if I use ivory, I don't know, I just feel, you know what? I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to add another layer of the beige red to the center. It's just not dark enough yet. And there we see, that's already starting to look better. There we go, it's better. Try and leave those highlights. I am going to use, probably though, even though I'm doing this all in polys, I probably will use a white Prismacolor in here as well. I don't know why polys don't have white. Maybe white just doesn't even work at all in this formula. Maybe that's why, but I like having a white, so I am going to use Prisma White. Boy, I hope all this dark color blends out by the time I'm done. Like I said, I've only used polys for skin once, and that was just to prep for this video because I wanted to make sure I could do it and not fall flat on my face, which I did. So we should be able to get something good here. Okay, a little bit more over here. Still leave some white on the page, but needed a little bit more. Needed more of this everywhere, I think. I was too timid in the beginning. But maybe timid isn't the right word. Maybe it was just, it needed more layers. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better about that. All right, let's try, I'm not sure. All right, better to start light. You can always go darker. So I'm going to start with ivory and see what that does. And you know, I think that is good because I don't know that I need it to be really yellow. This is actually a nice color to use for blending. Still don't want to cover up that bit of white there in the center. But yeah, I like this. Hopefully we'll be able to get even more layers going because I still want to add some darker stuff on top here. And she definitely needs more color around her face, around her nose. So I might not add any of this there yet. Interesting. It's really fascinating how different papers give you different results. And why I chose to use two new things that I'd never used or haven't used very often before in this video. I have no idea. Okay, you know what? I guess I should finish with the body and this, or else I will forget. I'm anxious to fix things that I feel like need fixing. I think I'm an impatient colorist when it comes to getting it to the point where I feel successful. And once I get it there, then I can keep tweaking and refining and all of that stuff. But these polys, you definitely have to have more patience. I think I missed some. Just adding that beige red in here. It's better. Okay. I feel not, I'm way not done yet. What have I got? Burnt Sienna, Caput Mortem Violet, Burnt Umber. What do I want? I don't know. I've got Sienna Brown, and that might be, is that Sienna Brown or Burnt Sienna? Burnt Sienna, okay. Do I want Burnt Umber? I don't. I don't know. I think that might be too dark. All right, I'm going to try and do some more on this nose here. This is Burnt Sienna. I'm going to use the Beige Red with a little bit more pressure. There's definitely a learning curve that I'm not feeling like I'm achieving very quickly here. Okay. Well, that's starting to feel a little bit more realistic. Just that made a difference. going to put some more dark around the outer edges here with Burnt Sienna. Is that what I want, or do I want Caput Mortem? Let's see what Caput Mortem Violet does. Really gotta... Really using light pressure. Don't want to get too much pencil lines that I can't blend out. I don't know why I feel like that's a problem for me today. Let's do a little bit up here. This is kind of like when I use the black grape, but it's kind of a combination of black grape and a nice brown, so I kind of like that. Do some under here. Okay, let's work on this nose a little bit more. We need to get some darker tones right underneath. I haven't put any shadow on the face, but I don't think I want to use this for that. I think I want to use like maybe cinnamon. Let me use cinnamon to make the skin under her nose a little bit darker. go back to the Caput Mortem Violet. I want to do darker right under her lip. All right, I still feel like this needs to be a little bit darker. This is crazy. Definitely going to have to use these polys a lot more often if I'm going to get confident and comfortable using them. I feel like everything I'm doing is wrong. Okay, Beige Red. I think we need a little bit more color under the eye. Okay, I'm just curious what happens if I use my Prisma White, but I'm seeing some stuff here that I need to finish, like the lower part of her body before I move on to something else. So let's keep going. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, this needs to be dark because that's really in shadow. This needs to be dark. Hopefully that's not too dark. This needs to be darker. All of this. And probably in here. I think the shading under there is still good. I think we need a little bit more under here. Okay. I'm debating on some more yellow. Cream maybe instead of the ivory like I did before. I also think maybe we need some more shadow under the nose. So let's try just Caput Mortem, not Caput Mortem Violet. I think it just, I don't know. Needed something. I think the thing that I'm struggling with right now is that this is not very blended. And I'm used to things being more blended when I use the Prismas. So and to me, that's where a white Polychromos would come in handy, because I would feel like I could maybe use that as a blender. But I also think it needs a little bit more yellow, but I'm gonna, do I want to use Walnut Brown? That might not be a good color. What color do I want to use? I want this line underneath her chin to be, the shadow under her chin to be a little bit more pronounced. Let's see. Burnt Umber. Let's use Burnt Umber. Not for that Burnt Sienna over here. Okay. Maybe even a little bit more over here. Cream. Let's see if that puts too much yellow on here. Kind of warms up her skin tone a little bit. All right, I'm starting to get a little bit happier. I was a little worried there for a little bit. And I think once we get the eyes and lips done, that'll help. It always helps me when I'm doing, even with the Prismas, it always helps me when I see the eyes and lips. But this cream adds a little bit more color dimension to the skin, and I like that. So also seems to be helping to blend the colors a little bit. No, I might have done a little bit too much there, but yeah, maybe not. Always use lighter pressure as you're pulling that color into the white, into the highlight, or else you're going to have too much yellow. Now here, because we don't have a lot of other colors, I'm just going to use a light pressure because I don't want it to be yellow, yellow. All right, I'm feeling better about this. Now, let's see. What do I want? I think I'm going to use the ivory and see if I can blend these darker colors all together, because they just were not feeling very blended to me. It could be the paper, could be my technique. Because again, this paper does have more tooth to it than the Recollections paper that I've been using. Okay. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I feel like she needs a little bit more something down here. So this is Burnt Sienna. All right, is there anything? Let's see, let's try and blend this, because that feels a little patchy. All right, what is this? Burnt Sienna. I'm just gonna a little bit more there. Okay, how do I feel about this? I think I feel pretty good. So this is where I'm going to pull out the white Prismacolor. I wish that Polly's did a white, but they don't. So I can already see as I'm doing this, it's smoothing out some of those areas that I didn't like. I wonder what it'll do here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use it on the top of her cheeks. Maybe even all over the whole thing. Gosh darn. It's a magic pencil. I like what it's doing. It's almost like it's taking what I did and it's airbrushing it. It just is smoothing things out. Okay, I don't want to use it in the really, you know, the areas that I want to really keep dark. But I do like it for the areas that I wanted to keep highlighted. It's very nice. Add this all in. All right. I don't think I need it down here. That feels pretty good. So let's see if we want to add some. I don't know if I want to add black. Is going to be too dark. I still feel like, don't know why. I think maybe just because it doesn't feel. I'm just messing right now. I don't know. I want the neck to be quite a bit darker than the shadow under the neck to be quite a bit darker. Still, it's better. Now my instinct is to grab my espresso pencil, and I'm going to, other than that white, I think I'm going to try really hard not to bring Prismacolors in here. So my next instinct would be, and I hope I'm not totally going to screw it up, is to pull out the black. And I'm just gonna, because I still feel like this isn't dark enough for me. So I'm going to add a little bit right there. And do I want any down here? Probably not. Okay. Her nostrils are already pretty darn black. I think they look pretty good. I actually think, I don't know why, but I'm going to add a little bit of pink. What color pink do I want? To her nose. Coral? Do I want coral? Maybe. All right. It's just a little bit. I don't know if that's enough. What other pinks do I have out here? If I remember right, this pink Madder Lake was really pink. Kind of like, even though it looks lighter than this color. So this is Rose Carmine. And I'm just putting the lightest of pressures but I like that. That works for me. Okay, so we're almost done. I knew this was going to take longer than doing it with Prismacolors. I just knew it. But I think these shadows underneath here need to be darkened. Now, if I'm good. I think the first time I went through this, I just kind of did a line, but if you're going to pay attention to detail, you got to do it like this. Did I say what this was? Caput Mortem Violet. And we're going to move on to the eyes and lips. And I think a little bit more right here. So this is what happens to me when I start doing pages at home. I just keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and seeing things that I don't like, or I need to add or whatever. And when I'm using my smooth cardstock, which I like because it gives me that really smooth, polished finish. But the problem with that is if I don't do the colors in the proper order, I will run out of tooth. And it feels like I'm not running out, I haven't run out of tooth yet on this slightly toothier paper. This is my regular old pencil, and I am going to try and see. I did something weird. I don't like what I, with her finger, when I erased the lines and put them back. I guess that's better. Okay, a little bit more. Here. I think I'm happy. So let's see what happens if we use the Caran d'Ache Full Blender on the polys. Oh, that works really nicely. Yep. Okay. Let's try it under here then. I feel pretty good about this. I'm going to throw some color on her fingernails just because. So if we're going to do, I'm thinking we're going to do these pinky yellowy flowers. This is what I did for when I was testing. Of course, I didn't write my colors down like a silly girl. but I think we can get close to that. So I don't think I want that color. Let's use Rose Carmine for her fingernails. I'm wondering if we should do them kind of ombre. This is coral on the ends and Rose Carmine in the back. We're going to have to also figure out what to do on her little tattoos on her skin too. I'm not sure about that, so we might revisit that after we get the rest of the colors going. This is just me fixing where I erased. Okay. All right, let's do her lips first. Yes, yes, yes. Get this stuff all out of the way. Okay, so I'm not sure if putting Prisma White down first is going to help here, so I'm going to try and do it without doing that. I want dark red. Okay, I'm going to start with cinnamon. So now that I have some color choices, some color combos done for the with the polys, I might try and do a portrait on my other paper, the Recollections paper, and see how different it is. It's always nice to use the same medium on different papers so you can compare and see if they're the same or if they turn out very different. Okay, so I tried to leave some white in the center of each lip. We'll see what happens when we add dark red. I always try and do little tiny strokes, no matter what brand I'm using, on the lips. Sometimes you can come in the darkest areas, but to start with, you do those little short lines, just like the lines would be in a lip. You guys know that. One of these days I'll get Coop to come in and say hi. I have no idea what he's barking at. I never know what he's barking at. Goofy dog. I want it to be at its darkest right in the middle, where the lips meet. I think I might bring some black in. That's not black. With the very lightest touch. Okay, now I lightened her little lip marks. My peppermint tea is cold because I've been concentrating so hard. Okay. Still good though. All right, so I'm going to take the Burnt Umber. And darken that up a little bit. And maybe black. Okay, I like that. Is that dark enough? Oh, what is this? Burnt Carmine. I don't know. I think that's more pink. I feel like I want those lips to be just a little bit even darker, but... Oh, why do I have red? Let's see. What's red violet? Okay. Might have to revisit that. This is my dark red again. I just want to... I don't know why. I feel like I want it to be a little bit redder. Do I want to add another color into this? Like coral? So anytime I add another color in somewhere, I always go very, very lightly because you can usually take an eraser and remove it if you've put it on there lightly enough. Just go a little bit at a time until you see if you like it or not. And I do. It just added a teensy little bit of that corally shade, so I'm happy with that. Okay, what color are we going to do her eyes? So the owl I'm going to do is a barn owl. Let's see. I think that's what the artist intended. So we could do red mushrooms. I feel like I want to do some more red in her nails too. I'm going to add some of this dark red in her nails. Oh yeah. We could do red mushrooms, or we could do brown mushrooms. It just kind of depends. And usually, if I don't know, I just work on the stuff that I know. And then the rest of the colors become clear as I continue. I like the red. We might wind up doing red mushrooms. Okay, so let's do, I'm going to do brown eyes. So for eyes, I'm going to start with Bistre. Bistre is one of my favorite poly colors. As you can see by the shortness of my pencil. So we're going to start, we're just going to do lines right down. Okay, then I want either Sienna Brown or Walnut Brown. Let's try both. So Sienna Brown. I'm going to come down from the pupil. Sorry. Just doing lines. And filling in these little marks that she made there. Okay, and then Walnut Brown, sharpening. And the Walnut Brown's going to go on the outer edge. We want that outer edge to be dark. I'm wondering if that Sienna Brown made her look like her eyes were bloodshot. We don't want that. That looks a little bit too red, so I may have to come in with, let's try this Dyke Brown. It's funny how you get used to your colors. You get used to certain colors that you use all the time. And then you switch up and it's like, that doesn't look right. I need such and such. I can't have such and such. Okay, I'm taking my black and I'm just darkening that outer edge even a little bit more. That's better. Okay, so now we need, let's try, cold gray 1 might be too light. Let's try 1 and 2. Okay, we're going to start with cold gray 1. Yep, that's not light enough, or not dark enough. So we'll do cold gray 2. That's not even really dark enough, but we'll start there. And we'll go to 3, cold gray 3. That's probably okay. All right, let's use coral. Here. As well as Burnt Carmine. Oh, we got to decide what we're going to do with her stripy, her things on her face too. Okay, so I am looking, and it looks like I completely failed to do any kind of color on her eyelid. So let's get some of that on here. So I just did out here, left that white here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to do with her eyes. This is, let's see, I don't know why, but I'm pulling out red violet. Just for this crease here. Yep. I like that. Should we add some of that to her lower lid? I don't know, it looks a little bit too purpley on her lower lid. We might have to add some brown into that. Let's do, nope. Nope. Let's do Burnt Umber. Alrighty. Boy, this is taking a long time. Okay. I still want that outer color to be a little bit darker. So this is the Burnt Umber. That's better. That's better. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, let's maybe some of this Burnt Umber up here. Are you in? Yes, you are. Good. Okay. We have to decide, so many color choices to decide on. She's got jewelry on her face. We have to decide what color hair we want her to have. Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm going to zoom out because I feel like I'm getting off screen here, and I didn't mean to do that. So, okay. Put a little bit more dark. And since I'm at it, I don't think I've used this particular color. Okay, I feel pretty good about this. I'm going to add some black, just as a darker shadow right there. Right there. Probably even in here. So I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute so I can check the time. I think we're probably going to be done, and we'll probably do the jewelry and stuff on another video, but I'm not sure. So give me just a sec. Let me do some checking and I will be right back. Okay, so we're at about a little over an hour and a half now. And if you guys just want to hang with me, I'm going to keep fiddling with some stuff because that's what I would do if I was not on camera. And she's good, but she's not exactly where I want her to be yet. So I think I am going to wait to do her, what are those beads? I guess they're like face beads or something. I don't know. Those will probably do in gold. And these will do after we get the rest of the color scheme going and I know what I want to do there. But there's just a little bit of tweaking that I feel like I want to do. So I'm just going to play, sort of, just keep going. So this is Bistre. And I want to see what that does to for the contouring. I'm not sure. But I think I like it. It's a light brown. It's kind of like, it reminds me of light umber a little bit. It's got a little bit of yellowish tones in it. But it's not as dark as some of these other browns that I've been using, and so it lets me build up that color without adding too much pencil strokes. And a lot of the time at this point in my coloring, I will take a picture of what I've done so far. And I'll look at the picture then and judge what needs to be done. Because I think I've mentioned this in a previous video, a lot of the time I can see things in a photo that are not obvious to me when I look at the work, the page. And then once I see it in the photo, I can go, oh yeah, I see that that's definitely something I want to fix. So there's something that I did that's weird. In here as far as the colors. Something's weird, and I don't know what that is. So I'm going to take, I think I'll take this Beige Red. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. We'll start there. It's just, I don't know, something is weird about the maybe it's too, I used the wrong colors to do the shading. This feels a little bit better. I think I would sit here and listen to a book and just keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Her hand is not perfect. My shading on her hand is not right, I think. But I don't know how to fix it. So sometimes you just gotta go with it. Now, maybe this is what's bugging me. Like, maybe that's the problem. Does this line need to come down further? I'm trying to, you can't see me, but I'm trying to hold my hand in the same way that hers is being held, but I can't do it because my thumb is, it's on the wrong side of my hand. I feel like, oh, and I'm afraid to draw the line because if I'm wrong, I'm leaving it. I don't want to mess with it. It is what it is. Okay, so where was I? I was adding Bistre. Is that what I want to do? Am I done there? Still feel like I want this to be a little bit more shaded. And let's do a little bit of this. This is a little bit too yellow in there. Yeah, I'll add some of that beige red back in here. I do like how the more color I add, the more blended things get. They kept telling me that about polys. You just have to add a lot more layers. But when you're used to doing something one way, switching to a different way can be hard. Okay, this is Burnt Umber and just adding back those. I hope it's right. I think it is. This Caput Mortem looked like maybe it was a little bit too purpley. That was the Caput Mortem Violet. And these will all look better once they're more three-dimensional too. Right now they're quite flat. All right, I think we're almost done. I'm going to do a little bit of that Bistre right down in here on her skin. It kind of gives her a tan almost. It's that kind of a glowy color. Might be a good color to use on another portrait one of these days. gonna do it down there. We gotta do it up here. Yeah, it's definitely warming up her. Giving her a more olive complexion, I guess. And can't find I can't find the pencils I want because I'm not used to the colors of the shaft. Okay, I'm gonna add, what is this? Burnt Umber. Alright, I think we're done. We can always come in and darken any shadows that I feel like we need to darken. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. See what I mean? You can just I can just keep tweaking and adding and adding and adding, and I'll never be done until I can't add any more pencil to the page. All right, I feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty good about what her hand looks like now for some reason. I feel like it looks kind of nice and three-dimensional. So we'll probably, yeah, so we'll add the tattoos and everything else on another video. So I think that's where we're at for today, guys. Whoops, that's my, there we go. Everything changes, the colors all change and everything when I zoom further out than one time. So hopefully the colors are pretty accurate on this cloudy day as opposed to my usual sunny days. I don't know, but I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. So I hope you enjoyed watching me flail around with this, and maybe learned a thing or two. And I am very, very happy that you were here. Grateful for you all. And that is it. That's a wrap, as they say. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and until I see you in a few days, happy coloring. Bye.